What's going on, guys? My name is Triforce Addiction. Welcome back to another COD Mobile video. So today is going to be quite a bit of a different topic because we're not really talking about too much of the game itself, but something that is actually releasing within the near future. So if you guys haven't heard the news at all in terms of Apple related stuff, this video is kind of like pertaining more to people that may be playing COD Mobile on iPhones. So in case you guys haven't heard, there was an Apple event that took place today. And within this event, they talked about the newest iPhone that is releasing. This is something that they normally do around this time of year before they release their next phone. They kind of announce the features of, the Pro models as well as just the base models. But this time around, they actually announced 3 different phones instead of 2. We have, of course, the standard iPhone 17. We also have the iPhone 17 Pro, the Pro Max, just all the usual phones that they talk about every year. But now they have a new model called the iPhone 17 Air. I stand corrected. It's actually called the iPhone Air. I thought it was called the iPhone 17 Air. But yes, basically, it's going to be an Air model of a phone, basically making it a lot lighter. I'm sure you've seen this before. They've had the MacBook Air. They've had the iPad Air. I'm pretty sure some of you guys play with a device like that. And you guys are probably asking, well, what does this really have to do with COD Mobile? I'm glad you asked. So every year that they announce new phones, they usually talk about the normal product and the Pro product. So, like let's say the iPhone 17 and the iPhone 17 Pro. And usually there's not really too many differences. The Pro models usually have a better camera, or, it has a better processor, or just more ability to have better storage. And that's usually it. But when it comes to the base models, it's reduced a little bit in quality. And what I mean by that is the display. And this is something that I'm sure a lot of you guys have kind of been pissed off with in the past, where, the normal iPhones normally have a 60 hertz display, basically locking your phone to only be allowed to play, 60 frames per second. This kind of pisses off a lot of users because, I'm sure most of you guys play with the normal iPhone 16 or an iPhone 15, and you guys don't have a Pro model and you're always stuck with 60 frames while you're facing other people, whether it be ranked or just normal team deathmatch. And it's just you're facing people with better refresh rates than you are. So you're kind of at a little bit of a disadvantage. So if you wanted to have the 120 frames, or I guess the ultra mode, in COD Mobile, you would have to actually get the iPhone Pro models. Whether it be the regular Pro or the Pro Max iPhone, you would have to get at least one of those two in order to play this game at 120 frames. And I'm pretty sure this is a well-known thing that iPhone is usually one of the more generally used phones in the world. Basically, it's one of the most popular. And I know a lot of you guys that have like Samsung phones have had 120 frames for a very long time. I would say Samsung is very friendly when it comes to refresh rates, a lot more than Apple would be. Apple is very well known for being very anti-consumer with how much they charge for certain devices. With headphones, they'll charge like over $200. With that Apple Vision Pro, it was like, what, $3,000? And even with the iPad Pro models, I will admit they are very, very expensive. But again, the Pro models are the only things that have the 120 hertz display. Basically, you cannot have ultra frames unless you have a Pro model of something. And that's always been kind of a shitty thing. But what they did today actually kind of opens a lot of possibilities for the future of, I guess, gaming with COD Mobile. Because now all of the iPhone models that are coming out this year, the iPhone 17, the iPhone Air, as well as the iPhone 17 Pro and Pro Max, they're all going to be having the 120 hertz display, no matter what model you have. Basically, getting the 120 hertz option on an Apple device is going to be a lot more affordable now. I'm pretty certain most of you guys have phone plans where you pay a monthly price to continue paying off your phone until like the 2-year mark, where you're eligible for an upgrade. This is basically just common practice when it comes to having a phone plan. So if you get yourself an iPhone 17, which is, I believe, $799 now, I think you could actually end up saving a lot of money rather than just getting a Pro model just to get the 120 hertz option. And again, Samsung is a lot more generous when it comes to the refresh rate. You don't really, I don't think you have to pay as much as you would if you're buying like an iPhone to get the 120 hertz. But the fact that they're making it for all these three products are actually a very good thing. And this kind of makes me wonder whether or not they're going to do this for the upcoming iPads. I know for all of you guys that bought your iPad Pro, you guys probably made a huge dent in your wallet. Let's be honest. I mean, the iPad Pros are one of the most expensive tablets that you can possibly get. But it's definitely worth the investment because you get to play COD Mobile at its best. Whether it be graphics or just stability, the iPad Pros are by far the best tablets to use when it comes to COD Mobile. But again, not everyone can afford a Pro model because again, it's over $1,000 to just even have the base, like have the base storage amount for a Pro model. If you buy the regular iPad or if you buy the iPad mini or the iPad Air, none of those options have the 120 hertz. And keep in mind, those are more affordable iPads. You know, like the normal iPad, I think goes for like $399, and it has a pretty good processing chip. But again, it's let down by the fact that it's not Pro Motion. It only has 60 hertz. The same goes for the iPad Air. The iPad Air, I think like the latest model has like the M3 chip. That's just one chip behind the M4 iPad Pro that is currently available, and that's like the most recent model. So it's almost as powerful as the iPad Pro, but of course it lacks the Pro Motion. It doesn't have that type of refresh rate that the iPad Pro does. iPad Mini, that's a different story. I don't know how many of you guys actually play this game on an iPad Mini, but if you guys do, I mean, it would be nice that if it would be nice if all the products that Apple releases in the future have the 120 hertz option. So that instead of having to buy the Pro model and waste like 500 extra dollars or not, if not more, you could just get the base iPad model with the 120 hertz and boom, you're good. Or if you want to play the game on phone, you don't have to worry about getting the Pro model. You could just get the base model or the Air if you're feeling up to getting that one. And either way, no matter which model you choose, it's just all going to have the same refresh rate. So I think this kind of sparks a potential brighter future for anyone that uses Apple devices because you never know. Maybe this year or the next, they might introduce iPad models that have this type of option as well. So you don't have to cough up so much more. And honestly, I think everyone deserves to play the game in a much more, I guess, smoother style, or at least have a smooth experience without having to pay way too much money. And if that day ever really comes, I mean, you could always ask yourself, well, why do I need to get the Pro model if the base model could just literally just do the same thing? And if I want to expand my storage, it's still not going to be anywhere near as expensive as it would if I had a Pro model. It's something to think about, but hopefully you guys kind of understand what I'm saying here. It's basically going to be a lot more affordable. But yeah, anyways, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. I'll see you guys next time.